Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we are going to discuss the condition hypoxia. I want to clear one more thing that if you have any question about the hypoxia or the high altitude physiology, the explanation will be the same. So, at high altitude, if you go far away at high altitude, far away from the sea level, the changes which occur in your body, that is the mainly belongs to hypoxia. So I am going to discuss the condition hypoxia itself, and you will learn it for high altitude physiology as well. Number one thing, what is the hypoxia? How you are going to define it? Hypoxia is actually the oxygen deficiency. The pressure of the air and oxygen that decreases too much, which is insufficient for the body to fulfill the body needs. This is a picture to show the inadequate oxygen being delivered to the cell, and you can check the change in the color. Normally, this is the normal color, pinkish, reddish and pinkish, while because of the deficiency of oxygen, the color changes to the blue, showing the inadequate oxygen supply to the fingers. Actually, regarding the oxygen saturation in the blood, we can have either the normal condition or the intermediate or the absence. This picture is clearly showing the oxygen saturation in the body, that the number one thing is the normal, having adequate oxygen supply. If this supply decreases, you can check the change in the color, starting the reddish and going towards the deoxygenated condition, anorexic condition, in which the color changes to the blue. These are some of the conditions because of which the body can have the hypoxic condition. The cause may be the stroke, congestive heart failure, heart attack, hemorrhagic shock, peripheral arterial disease, or any other type of the disease. So that you must clear about the hypoxic condition, that it is just the sign, not itself a disease. It is the name of a condition of the body in which there is insufficient supply of the oxygen to whole of the body tissues. Underlying cause may be any one of the disease belonging to the main organs, either to the brain, to the heart or lungs or any other organ, but on the whole the body is not supplied with normal amount of the oxygen. And the same condition is you can face when you go to the high altitude. There the air pressure, oxygen saturation decreases, and again the patient and the person cannot get the sufficient amount of the oxygen. So the body condition will be again the hypoxic. Hypoxia means oxygen deficiency, while if we use the word anoxia, A shows the absence, so no oxygen at all left in the tissues. This is the difference between the hypoxia, which is the deficiency or less amount of oxygen, while anoxia is nil. Now I am going to describe the types of the hypoxia or the classification. I am giving you two types of the classification. First type of the classification is very simple and easy to remember. while the second type of the classification, which is written in your textbook, that is somewhat in detail and somewhat difficult to remember. It's up to you if you want to learn by heart the first classification. It's good if you can remember the second one or both one, you can. So according to the first classification, we can divide the hypoxia. Number one is the hypoxic hypoxia. This is a type of the hypoxia in which the atmospheric air have less amount of the oxygen on the whole, so that the body is exposed to low level of the arterial partial pressure of oxygen. The environment around the body is having the low amount of the oxygen, deficiency of the oxygen. That types of the hypoxia is called the hypoxic hypoxia. You must remember that in this type the arterial partial pressure is decreased. The second type is the anemic hypoxia, in which the arterial pressure that is normal, but the exact cause is that is the hemoglobin percentage that decreases. So this is the difference between the hypoxic hypoxia and the anemic hypoxia. Hypoxic hypoxia is especially because of the low oxygen deficiency in the atmosphere on the whole, while in the anemic hypoxia the arterial pressure of the oxygen that remains normal, but the hemoglobin percentage that decreases, and this is leading to the anemia. So it is named as anemic hypoxia. The further details of the hypoxic hypoxia is, again you can see what is the value of the arterial and venous oxygen saturation. Normally 95-40, while in the hypoxic hypoxia it decreases to the 40 and 25. In the anemic hypoxia, mainly the cause is the anemia, while the carbon monoxide poisoning and methemoglobinemia or sickle cell anemia, that mostly the causes belongs to the abnormal hemoglobin. That's why it is leading to the anemic condition and creating the hypoxic condition, which is named as anemic hypoxia. The third type is the stagnant or ischemic hypoxia. Stagnant means that you tie any organ or the blood vessel. So it is called the ischemic hypoxia. Again, there is any obstruction to the blood supply. Because of that, the body have the hypoxic condition. Now, check it that arterial partial pressure is normal, hemoglobin is normal, but the cause is the blood flow that decreases. So because of this defect, it is called the ischemic hypoxia. Then lastly we have the histotoxic hypoxia, as this word shows that histotoxic means histology or the basic cell cytology. So any defect present inside the cell itself, which is leading cause of the hypoxia, that is because of that the cell is unable to get the proper oxygen, so it is called the histotoxic hypoxia. In this type, the arterial pressure that is normal, hemoglobin normal, blood flow normal, but the tissues they are unable to utilize the oxygen properly because of any toxic agent, because of any specific deficiency or specific enzyme system, anything going wrong at the cellular level, but not on the whole in the body. So this is a type of the histotoxic hypoxia. I will come to this type again while discussing the treatment, because this is a very special type of the hypoxia which is treated in different way as compared to the others. The second type of the classification which is written in the textbook, it is the same as the first but have somewhat more detail. Number one is the inadequate oxygenation of the blood in the lungs because of extinct reasons. Deficiency of oxygen in the atmosphere, as I have labeled it atmospheric hypoxia. Then we can have the hypoventilation neuromuscular disorders, includes the pulmonary diseases, increased airway resistance, ventilation perfusion ratio is disturbed, any diminution disease belongs to the respiratory membrane. Then we can have the diminished respiratory membrane diffusion. All these they are included and in hypoxia and creating the hypoxic condition in the body. Then we can have the venous to arterial shunts, right to left cardiac shunts, inadequate oxygen transport to the tissues by the blood, in which we can have the anemia or abnormal hemoglobin, general circulatory deficiency, localized circulatory deficiency including the peripheral cerebral coronary vessel and the tissue edema. Then finally we have the inadequate tissue capability of using oxygen. That is again that tissue are unable to utilize the proper oxygen because of poisoning of cellular oxidation enzyme. As I have told you already, limit cellular metabolic capacity for using oxygen because of toxicity, vitamin deficiency or other any important factor at cellular level which is deficient, leading to the a condition in which the cell is unable to utilize the proper oxygen. This is a very nice picture to show the symptoms of the hypoxia. I am going to tell you all about things about the hypoxia in much more detail, because at high altitude also the same answer will be, that is the how the condition is facing the how the body is facing the condition, that is the hypoxic condition at high altitude, what will be the sign and symptoms and all these things. So you can write all these things if the question comes to you that what is the changes at high altitude when you go far away from the sea level. Regarding the symptoms of the hypoxia, very easy to remember, that is the early rat is laid to bed. From rat you can have the restlessness, anxiety, tachycardia or tachypnea. From bed you can remember the bradycardia, extreme restlessness and dyspnea. So early signs includes these, while later on you can have all these. Some more detail of the signs and symptoms and changes occurring in the body regarding mainly the cardiac, respiratory and CNS. And this is the WOB, which shows the work of breathing included in the respiratory changes. So at the in the heart you can have the tachycardia, change in the blood pressure, arrhythmia, ECG changes, pulse rate, that is change, and neurologically anxiety, restlessness, all these things. And respiratory, the rate changes, volume, tachypnea and all these, you can have the dyspnea also. What will be the effects of hypoxia in your body? As we know, the most important thing regarding the check over the oxygen saturation, that is the carotid bodies and the aortic bodies, that are the peripheral chemoreceptors. So number one thing, they are going to check the oxygen level in the blood. Then they are giving the impulses to the brain. In response, the brain sends signals to the rest of the body to increase the breathing rate and constrict vessels in the lung, increase heart rate, dilate peripheral blood vessels in arms, legs, hands and feet. So these will be the changes because of the impulses which are sent initially from the carotid and aortic bodies, and we have discussed these bodies as peripheral chemoreceptors in much more detail previously. So they send impulses to the brain and then further management is taken up by the brain itself. Now comes the treatment of the hypoxia. The treatment of hypoxia and hypoxemia is to get additional oxygen into the environment or body. As we know, the hypoxia is a condition which is due to the lack of the oxygen. So, you must give the oxygen supply to equalize this deficiency. But the next question is either you are going to give the oxygen supply to all types of the hypoxia or in selective cases. So, you are going to give the oxygen supply, but for what? Which type? Number one, that is the atmospheric hypoxia. If on the whole in the atmosphere the oxygen supply is deficient, if you give the oxygen to the body so that it will replace 100% all the conditions in your correct all the condition of the body. So there will be 100% effective therapy regarding the atmospheric hypoxia. For the further types of the hypoxia, in hypoxia caused by anemia, abnormal hemoglobin transport, circulatory deficiency, physiological shunt, oxygen therapy is of much less value because normal oxygen is already available in the alveoli, but there is some defect in the hemoglobin transport of oxygen or any deficiency that is the physiological shunt may be there. The basic cause is not the lack of oxygen, but the basic cause is belongs to any abnormality occurring in the body system that is going to create the hypoxia in the body. So in that case, you must give the oxygen therapy with the treatment of the basic cause. The problem instead is that one or more of the mechanism for transporting oxygen from the lungs to the tissue is deficient. So correct this one. You should give the oxygen therapy also, but with that you must correct it because the just alone oxygen therapy is of much less value. What happens in hypoxia caused by impaired alveolar membrane diffusion? Oxygen therapy can increase the partial pressure of oxygen in the lung alveoli from the normal value of about 100 to as high as 600 mmHg. But you must remember the histotoxic type of the hypoxia. This is the type in which the oxygen therapy is absolutely useless. So you must remember that if the defect is occurring at the cellular level, the basic defect is any deficiency of specific enzyme or anything which is needed for the proper utilization of oxygen. If that is deficient and you are giving the oxygen therapy, again it will be useless. So you must correct the cellular level defect first and then you can give the oxygen therapy. Otherwise it will be 100% useless. This question may be asked in the Viva or in the MCQ that which is the type of the hypoxia in which the oxygen therapy is 100% useless. So the answer is the histotoxic type of the hypoxia. Hypoxia caused by inadequate tissue use of oxygen. There is abnormality neither of oxygen pickup by the lungs nor of transport. Instead, the tissue metabolic enzyme system is that one defective. So, oxygen therapy is of hardly any measurable benefit. Now, I am going to describe the different oxygen delivery devices through which you can give the oxygen therapy to the patient, either to the nasal cannula, nasal catheter or any type other which I have listed here, and I will show you all these things one by one through the different pictures you can see. All these the different types of the apparatuses through which the patient can get the oxygen supply. One type, the second type cylinder or tank, then the nasal prongs or the nasal cannula. You can see the patient is supplied with this nasal tube, this one, through which it is connected to this pipe is connected to the oxygen cylinder, and through that it is getting the oxygen supply. Then face mask can be used. All these, they are the different types of the apparatuses through which the oxygen supply can be given. It depends upon the apparatus which is supplied in the hospital or in the clinic, which is the type of the cylinder. Either it is fixed on the wall or it is movable, then these masks that will be adjusted according to the apparatus supplied. And these are the different types and different sizes of the cannula through which the mask is connected, and this cannula is connected to the oxygen cylinder. For newborn, we can have this type of the oxygen hood, as it is difficult to maintain the oxygen mask over the face of this newborn, so they are provided with the specific oxygen hood, and you can give in somewhat early children, we can have the rectangular clear plastic canopy with outlet that connects to oxygen, which is humidified. This type of arrangement for the somewhat larger, somewhat grown up children as compared to the newborns. You must remember the golden rule regarding the oxygen therapy, that you should never stop giving oxygen to a patient in need. Regarding the oxygen toxicity, if you are giving the oxygen therapy to the patient, you must remember that it should not be given continuously. It is given at interrupted intervals so that oxygen toxicity may not develop, because it has its own side effects and other things. So at the end, some interval must be given while giving the oxygen therapy to avoid the oxygen toxicity. So this is all about the hypoxia and the signs symptoms belonging and its treatment belongs to the hypoxic condition in the body. Okay, thank you. Allah Hafiz.